Hello and welcome to Chrysalis Invictus. This is your messages from Swan reading. So as you can see, I have 4 different piles laid out for you, and because we are calling in the guide of Swan, so whatever that might be for you, or however that comes in for you, we want to be connected in, tapped in. So taking some long, slow, deep breaths, breathing in and down into your root chakra, the base of your spine. And letting the shoulders relax and letting yourself become receptive. I'll read to you the captions underneath the 4 piles. This may help you to make your selection. If you're guided to watch more than one, that is completely all right. So first we have Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. And this is card number 60. Next we have Graceful Transformation. Soften your heart and find your flow. Stillness. And transformation. Trusting your psychic gifts. So just relax, make your selection, and I will meet you at your reading. All right, so calling in the energy and the spirit of Swan. Your message. Just give me a moment to tune in. So there's a message here about driving a car backwards. That someone has hopped into the driver's seat and is accelerating backwards. You're reminded that proceeding or that backing up is something that we do with extra caution. Something that you come to slowly, making sure that you see all angles behind you. This feels like a healing journey where you are excited. There's fast movement under the surface. You are discovering all kinds of things about yourself. You're discovering issues or aspects from the past. But Swan is here to tell you that this process is unfolding a little bit too quickly at the moment, that you're being guided to slow down. The deep dive that you're on right now needs time to integrate. All deep dives need time to integrate. There's a balance and a justice, an injustice, and an unfoldment. You may have these times where you say, I've arrived. I've made it, I'm here. You're reminded that healing is a process. And when you are deep diving, it is not as simple as discovery and energetic release. There is some guidance here to seek assistance. I'm also getting something about a cloaked warrior. And bedroom eyes. So there's someone that is coming in to help you. But this help is cloaked, it's in disguise, it's in the guise of something potentially unhelpful. But you're on this reversal journey. It makes me feel dizzy. I'm going to get some tarot cards to clarify. Who is this cloaked stranger? Okay, so we have King of Chalices. This came out reversed. You may have become accustomed to dealing with varying levels of narcissism. And because of this, your stream of consciousness has been hijacked with all of these, with the anticipation of deception, with the anticipation of gaslighting and projection. And you have then adopted it as your own. This is not a quality that is innate to you. This is something that you have either inherited or learned. And as you begin to unmask the dangers, as you begin to unmask and unchain yourself from this pattern, from this life that you knew before, this way of thinking, you may be projecting forward. If you accelerate too quickly backwards, you start to project more forwards into the future and then sort of halt your progress or your process. You're reminded that the kindness of strangers will not feel kind if you are afraid of them, if you assume that they are going to hurt you. But the main message here is the faster you move backwards, or if you try to accelerate your healing, this could be potentially damaging for you. It's possible that there is a masculine energy in your life that still has a hold on the way that you see yourself. And you want to rid yourself of this. You want to cut it out, or to say, I'm over it, I'm done. But it's too much tangled up in your identity. This could be a father figure, or someone you had a significant relationship with where they were able to mold the way that you see yourself. And it's too much tangled up in the way that you see yourself for it to be an easy fix. What are the bedroom eyes? Bedroom eyes make me think that this was a relationship. This could have been someone that you married, or someone that you had children with, or someone that you, it's definitely related to the home. So someone that you lived with, someone who was meant to provide you with stability. And so this has brought into question your identity, but also your sense of security and home. Swan wants to remind you that it is possible to have a loving partner and a loving home. This is in your energy. And because this is your goal, this is the focus. Heal your heart. Let's get some advice. What is the advice? The world. The only way to have a new beginning is to truly work through the traumas. Otherwise, you repeat the same cycles over and over, but I see this end for you. It's coming. It's possible and it's coming. And I feel like you need to know that. Tell me more about the world. Oh, wow. Yes. This is perfect. I love this for you. Okay. So there is a time of release and grief, letting things die. I feel like this is you. You will grieve the things and the people you have lost. You will grieve the life that you once knew. You will feel regrets. Making room for what's new. What have you learned from this? I'm hearing that there is a golden chalice that is waiting to reach out to you. It's the chalice of the king of the king. An ace of cups, an energy that is filled with a self-love that only comes from survival. When the Five of Chalices is present, there is a union and a love energy that though the Three Chalices have fallen and have been sacrificed and this could be a community. So there's mourning of an identity, mourning of a community, grief over the loss. But there is still that union in the background. There's still a teammate, a support, a king of chalices waiting for you on the other side of this cycle, because that's what you've been calling in. is this beautiful, stable, and loving home. What else does Swan want you to know? The Ace of Chalices. You're beautiful, you know. You glow in dark spaces. And the challenges you've faced haven't looked as bad to the people outside of you as they have looked to you. So you may feel shame or guilt or embarrassment far more often than you need to. You have the power to create out of crisis. You have the power to create out of nothing, something. And you will create this love and this stability, this home. Let's get you some more words of encouragement. Wow. On the other side of all of this grief and all of this struggle and rebuilding your roots, rebuilding your foundation, is the Nine of Chalices. This is your wishes coming true, your dreams coming true. Like I said, each card that comes out is coming after what I've said. But the sun sets on the old life as you welcome in the new. And this will be from you taking your time with it, from cultivating patience, from understanding this process of renewal is not something that you can speed your way through. Just know that it's coming, that it's there. And the Seven of Pentacles comes out to us reversed. There will be time. There will be time. There's a T.S. Eliot poem for divisions and revisions. I think it's the love song of Alfred J. Prufrock. So there will be time. There will be time. There will be time for all of this. There will be time for building. There will be time for love. So if you wonder if it's too late, if that's why you are hitting the gas pedal in reverse to try and speed up the process of healing, it will come. It will come. And this is what I have for you, messages from Swan. I hope that this gave you some peace, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Welcome to your reading if you chose the Swan card. It says graceful transformation, soften your heart and find your flow. Let me tune into your messages from Swan. There is a bulging and purging process that is needed. So there is some ugly stuff going on underneath the surface. It almost feels like each time you come up to transformation, you become overfull, overwhelmed, or like you're bursting out of your skin, you're uncomfortable in your skin, and you're reminded that this is a this is part of growth, that this is part of growing pains, and to try not to fall to extremes when you come up against this feeling of like bursting, of bulging, of becoming swollen emotionally, physically, spiritually swollen. And it feels like it builds and it builds and it builds like a pressure, and then it releases. And so this is a natural part of this process of transformation. And if ever you find yourself trying to disrupt this flow, the accumulation will only continue to build. So you are guided to stay within the flow, within the process, sit with what is uncomfortable and let it pass through you. And I'm getting bands of vision. Trust those threads of vision. And when you can start to see through to the other side, know that you are passing through a threshold. So if there was previously darkness in front of you and you are now able to see more in front of you, you are passing through a threshold, and through that there is that pressure. Through that there are things that cannot come with you. And sometimes it is painful to shed those skins. Sometimes it is painful to purge. This is a natural part of your transformation. Let's see what is transforming in your life at this time. You receive the card of 5 of Chalices. So what I'm hearing is that you are letting go of small things that feel big in the moment. But in the scheme of your life, these are smaller things. The smaller things can sometimes be the harder things to let go of, because we don't realize the comforts or the importance that we place on them. This could be material possessions, likely material possessions that you have emotional attachment to. So this purging could be of your environment. It could be of your clothes. Shedding a skin of maybe a former self. Maybe there was a uniform that you used to wear, or a uniform that you used to I don't know why this is coming in this way, but like they're saying like a costume that you used to put on, that you would wear as your everyday sort of attire, that this is something that maybe it's time to purge. To be aware of the selves that you're carrying around as if they were still your skin. It's that you're reaching in the darkness for some kind of image of yourself that is no longer needed. Temperance in reverse. Oh, this is interesting. So what I'm hearing is that your life has come into balance, or is coming into balance more recently, spiritually, mentally, physically, like in a holistic way. You are dreaming a life into existence, and you're finding different levels of resilience and stability. But you look back to times when you were more unstable and think of it as free, or that you were somehow in some way philosophically or in some way freer or more aligned with some sort of radical aspect of your being that you are longing to connect with again. How can they invite that energy in a new way? Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles and the World's reversed. What I'm hearing is that it's not about going back again. It is about revising that radical energy. So this really makes me think of punk rock, and I had a reading a while ago where this came up, and I feel like maybe the same people are watching this reading. But the lifestyle that went along with this kind of radical way of being, or this freedom that you perceive, that is not, that was part of the lifestyle, but that was not about living that way. There is a way of integrating and discovering those things in your current life. So what are the if freedom is what you're looking for, how can you create space in all different areas of your life? If activism, and this kind of like fearless activism used to be part of your history, how can you be fearlessly activated, but activated? Active in your adult life? Like, how does that express itself in the way that you work now? We can infuse freedom and activism into absolutely everything we do by telling the systems that be, or the structures of power, how we feel about them, or just not finding those little ways to infuse regular everyday situations with that energy, okay? Because it still exists within you. What else? What is the advice? What else does this pile need to know? My viewers, my friends. Two of Swords. This came reversed. So I do feel like there is some sort of, the bubble is bursting. The bubble is bursting in a way that you cannot see right now. But I do see you leaning into trust. I do see you trusting that this is happening. What else? This Two of Swords. the Page of Pentacles. It's a slow moving process, but there's some sort of message coming in, and I really feel like this is going to be something that inspires you. So this could be from a child, this could be from someone that is younger than you, this could be a cultural idea that is younger than you. So that comes from a younger generation. There's something that you can learn there. This may come through to you via, I'm getting slower forms of media. So not necessarily internet, but maybe through a book or a piece of art. Something that you've stored in your closet, maybe something that was in an old notebook. This could be from your younger self. So maybe going back, rather than holding on to old clothing, going back and looking at old writing, if that is something that you have sitting around or stored in your closet. Okay, and I can see that the major and massive barrier here is anxiety and fear. So, okay, so the message that's coming in is that there is a current of courage and energy that you can tap into from your younger self. And it's possibly through these writings, so a book, either someone younger than you or yourself that will inspire you. Any closing messages from Swan? What does Swan want to say? The Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, so very slow movement here. This change that you are looking to see is a slow moving reality, and Swan is really saying to be patient with yourself, to be patient with this unfolding, and that it is far more graceful on the surface than it may appear to be, or than it may feel to be. So you are not these sorts of nightmarish, feverish thoughts and energies are not necessarily coming up on the surface. So you don't have to be afraid of that. But this growth is tricky. And the pitfalls are because you are trying to move with integrity. You're trying to move with alignment. You're trying to grow up through that. And that's where you seek respite it's almost like seeking respite in the wrong parts of your history and past. It's like glamorizing or idealizing certain aspects where there are other aspects of yourself from the past that are ready to be retrieved. So I'm going to leave you there with this message. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you are well. Take care. Hello, welcome to your reading. You chose the Stillness card. Your message from Swan is okay, so I'm getting something about cold and swollen limbs, or things that are full of water rather than nutrients. So they're full of something that you need but not in mass quantity. So there's something that's You are perhaps over consuming in your life that you feel is nourishing or good for you. That Swan is directing you to, or suggesting, gently guiding you away from consuming as much of this as you are. So this is something that you may feel is really good for you, and it is good for you, and it is something that you need, but not in the quantity that you think. Okay, so there's some kind of situation where you have an overabundance of this energy or of this thing. This could also be spiritually, this could be guidance, this could be having too much guidance or relying too much on spiritual tools. Coincidentally, as you're here watching a tarot video, let's take a look if we can find out more about this. Okay, the Page of Swords. Yeah, so this could be that you are over consuming information, so that you're gathering too much information for what you, for making decisions, or too much information, or more information than you need, or over reliance on fact checking, on thinking about things. This is a swan's wing, the tip of the wing. And this is sort of like spirit comes down hard when you don't listen, or when you're, favoring your head or your heart too much, one or the other. So there's something here about that. And I'm hearing the quiet time is not enough. Okay, so there is a need for you to quiet or to rest, to take breaks. There's some kind of arrangement that is no longer working. Some pieces need to be moved, to be realigned. And you're trying to do this by gathering information rather than doing. So you're being guided to do rather than think. So to come into some sort of action. Let's see what this action might be. The Two of Swords. Well, the action is at a stalemate. The action is a choice. What is this choice? I'm sure you know. Okay, so I get these two cards as your choice cards. I'm going to move this around here. You have the choice. This could literally be a choice between two people. We have Aries and Aquarius here. But what I'm feeling is this is a choice between impressing your superiors, impressing your parents, impressing others, or serving humanity, serving yourself, serving your destiny, your fates. These are your choices. If you choose one, you favor selves outside of yourself. So there's this emperor energy. This could be a father's expectation or a father energy, or just wanting to please something that stands in for father energy, a manager, that kind of thing. Some kind of authority. But with the star energy and the Aquarius energy here, this is not just, this is what is your destiny. This is what feels good and nourishing and gives you hope. But it also ultimately serves humanity for you to choose this path. So these are your choices. There's always a third choice. Can you show me the third? The Knight of Wands. Okay, so the Knight of Wands for me is the energy that you need to embody here. So this is a confident energy. And this confidence is going to help to lead you. So you're not making the choice, but you are acting. So through action, not thought, you are choosing. And it will not lead you astray. This choice will make itself if you continue to act, if you continue to take one step after another, rather than dwelling and thinking and making pro and con lists. So this does signify the heart. The Knight of Wands also acts with a tremendous amount of passion. So if you are following your passion, that will not lead you astray. Okay, what else? What else do they need to know? We have the Page of Pentacles. We have two messengers here, messengers of the material and the mind. Okay, so the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands in this is with the Page of Pentacles, is telling you, is delivering a message about victory being at the other side of your passion and of the momentum you create with your skills and your natural abilities and the way that you see the worlds, or the way that you manipulate the worlds with your two hands. This is not a deep riddle or puzzle to solve. Your passion is evident to you. It will be evident to others. And when you embody this Knight of Wands energy, you will end up pleasing both masters. So this father figure, or whatever, this energy that you are trying to please, will be pleased. Maybe not immediately, but the process that you will take to get there may not be something that they're pleased with, or the initial idea may not be something that they support, but they will eventually see the value. Okay. It's funny that this card says stillness because you're guided to act. Is there anything else you need to know? Other messages from the Seven of Chalices came out reversed. Your dreams are not as far-fetched as you may think. And that when you are moving through this energy of the Knight of Wands, and when you are listening to when you are following your passion, and when you are moving away from this need to have this other idea of what success is or what your life should be, when you move away from that, it will be easier than you think to achieve what you need to achieve. So whatever this is, if this is a relationship, if this is a career situation, however this fits into your life, it is, once you are aligned with this Knight of Wands energy and moving with that energy, it is going to align you to please yourself, please others, and it will give you a sense of inner peace because it will be aligned. It will be easier than you think. So that's a message that I have for you. I hope that it has been helpful. Leave me a comment if that feels right to you, and we'll see you soon. All right, welcome to your reading. You chose the Swan transformation, trusting the psychic gifts. Okay, so what I'm getting here is actually that you are being blasted with information. You are getting so much information thrown at you psychically, spiritually, emotionally, perhaps if you're empathic, energetically, if you're sensitive to energies. So this is a crown chakra that needs a closed valve or closing valve. So if you want to just picture your crown chakra and like there's a tap or a hinge that you can just turn so that it's not quite so open. Now I'm going to turn mine back on and open it up so I can channel this message for you. But for you, we're just turning it down so that we can start to sort through these messages, okay? So one of the things that will be helpful for you and to remind you is that it's all very well and good to channel, and it can be really exciting and it can really feed your ego to be able to channel and trust these psychic gifts. I don't feel that you don't trust them. Maybe you don't exactly know what they are, but they do need to process through all your other energy centers. So if you think of water, it goes through a filtration system. The information that we receive through our crown, I send the information from my crown down to my roots so that it becomes grounded, so that when it comes back up and out through the throat, it is filtered through different layers of energy and stability. Okay, so it is not just sometimes pure information from spirit is dangerous, or it can be harmful, or it can be unhelpful. We need to stabilize that information. So if you are someone who channels a lot and you know that you channel a lot, Swan wants you to send that energy down through all the other energy centers. So before you open your mouth to tell someone some sort of prophetic thing that you have received, filtering it through will tell you whether they need to hear that information at this time. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay, so let's get some more information about that. If you are someone who does not know that you are channeling this information, finding some guidance on how to ground and balance that energy will be really helpful for you, and we'll see if we can get some of that information here. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles. Yes, juggling. So what I'm getting here is that this is making it difficult for you to juggle your regular life with your spiritual life. One is taking precedent over the other, and it's almost as if you are unable to perform regular duties or live a regular life at this point in time. And so this could come up as manifest as bouts of mental disruption. So maybe you are experiencing prolonged periods of anxiety or depression. You can ground yourself through therapy. You can ground yourself through therapeutic methods like practicing yoga, breath practice, meditation. But what you're looking to do is to balance these two energies, the material and the spiritual worlds. The other worlds, the subconscious worlds, and in your conscious worlds, okay? And to not favor one over the other. So just because something comes through from spirit does not make it immediately true or more valid than what we know. Because we have earthly experience. We are in our earthly bodies. We know our bodies. We know our corporeal experience, and so both are valid, both are true. So I do see a favoring of the spiritual or a favoring of the physical here. It depends. So likely if you're favoring the material world, see I'm channeling very quickly in this pile. If you are favoring the material worlds, it is likely that you're not aware of your crown chakra and your third eye and your intuitive gifts. You're not fully aware of what you're doing. If you are favoring the spiritual world, this is where you need to ground, calm down, and it is not impressive to lose your mind to the channel, okay? You don't need to be a martyr to your psychic abilities. And we have the Eight of Wands. This is talking about boundaries. Again, the boundaries between what is or isn't healthy or appropriate, I feel. So Swan is really guiding you to, I'm seeing like swimming around the edge of the pond, just like understanding the edges of things and allowing there to be a boundary. So rather than seeking more, maybe pausing where you are. So that is for those who are very open. For those of you who are on the other side of the spectrum, if you will, this is about seeking those boundaries. So you're right at the center, where the others are just trying to make a bigger pond. I don't know if that's a good metaphor anymore. So let's get some more advice here. Or clarify this boundary card for me. The Queen of Swords. Okay, so one of the ways that it's suggested here for you to ground is to do some research and to discern when and where it is appropriate to channel, to be in this space. I do feel like one of the things that could be happening here is that you are newly awakened in some way, or you have been activated or initiated in some way. And it's always challenging when that happens to move around in a normal everyday life. But here I'm seeing, and this is actually a swan as well. So I'm seeing this swan being silenced, and that's about knowing when to turn off your psychic abilities and knowing how. So creating those boundaries, maybe doing some research into how to do that, practicing more grounding, practicing more filtering. Filtering for me is the best way, and researching. So if messages are coming in, for instance, from Swan, going to a book and discovering different stories about swans from mythology. There are many instances of swans in mythology. The one that's coming to mind is Leda. And there's one that I never remember, the Children of Lear, I believe, from Irish mythology. Those are two examples, so maybe reading some, that's just for Swan, but reading stories, discovering what other people have done with their psychic gifts and abilities, and avoiding people who are encouraging you to continuously stretch that boundary and continuously activate and push the limits. Okay. And then the Seven of Swords. Okay, so there's a need here. This came out reversed. There's a need here for people in your life who shoot straight. So this doesn't mean naysayers necessarily. It means that, so for those of you who are really attached to the material world, this could be releasing yourself from the need to make everything make sense. And yeah, allowing yourself to be deceived for a while, or kind of just like giving it up and being like, okay, maybe this isn't real, but I'm gonna act as if it is real to see where I can go with it. For those of you who are in the wide open crown chakra channeling all the time camp, it can be easy to attract people or communities or support from people who are like-minded. But it's also important to have people that check you in your life. So who say, okay, like maybe now's not the time to go further with that. Maybe it's time to, or who support you in taking your foot off the gas. This one took a wild ride. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune. Can we clarify that, please? There's a tangle. The Knight of Wands. This has been really interesting because all four piles will get the same cards coming out. Yours has been very different, but Okay. So there is a message here from Swan about your transformation. And part of the message is about formalized forms of spirituality or teaching. Swan is asking you to liberate yourself from any kind of strict tradition of something or to explore other avenues. There is some untangling that needs to happen here. So there could be some sense of your identity that is wrapped up in either avoiding your psychic gifts or sort of like overusing or overindulging in them. And so there's guidance here too, and this could be all within one person. Perhaps you oscillate between the two, so you're either completely turned off, this happens a lot, completely turned off or completely turned on. So finding that middle ground. And finding and committing to a practice that is motivated by your own passion and by yourself. I need something more. Give me 2 more. Okay, so there's a process of illumination that is not going to come through to you if you try to rush it or if you try to race through these different initiations and mile markers. So even if someone advertises that they can activate you and initiate you, it doesn't mean that that's a door that you're meant to go through. This can happen a lot with drug use as well, doing ayahuasca too much, things like that, where you are popping open all of these doors. And those doors are not necessarily doors you're ready to go through or ready to integrate those lessons in your life. So Swan is coming in to guide you through a more graceful and slow-moving transformation with a commitment to yourself that you will not allow a sense of ego or self-importance. And this is not ego. Oh my goodness. You have not transcended the ego. That's not a thing. So I don't even know what to say. I feel so much resistance in this pile. I don't even know if you're still watching. Illumination is a steady process. Transformation does not happen quickly, no matter what is advertised. And yes, you can transform quickly by doing certain kinds of practices, but it doesn't mean that that's integrating. And eventually it will catch up with you where you have to integrate. And so your guidance here is to take it slowly and steadily, to study, to not adhere to one tradition or another, but to definitely seek the wisdom of tradition. and to allow this illumination. I'm sorry if some of you who are still here, if my response to whoever has left and whoever is resisting, I do apologize. There was someone in this party who has left and did not want to hear this message. Yeah. So, and this is a cracked mirror, right? So this is something that isn't ideal to hear. This is part of the difficult aspects of working psychically, but it's true. Of there are consequences to having a open and close crown chakra like that. Okay, so this is really just guidance to find middle ground, to find some peace, to be patient with this process, to allow it to unfold. There's beautifully strong energy here. There's so much strength here as well, and so much ability, but this isn't something that we should attach our identities to. Okay, so remember that spirit works through you. If you're channeling messages, you are the channel, and our responsibility as a channel is to be a good vessel and to be responsible about how we channel and learn how to filter the messages that we receive. So I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for joining. Again, I'm sorry about that intense period there. And thank you for being here with me. So much love to you. Take care.